Hey everybody, welcome to the Inimitable Podcast. I am your host, Jermaine Harrison. I am a licensed mental health counselor, mentor, visionary, transitional life coach, but more importantly, I am a neurospicy black sheep. Inimitable means something that is so unique it is impossible to duplicate. This pod is for the neurospicy who are building mental wealth without a blueprint. Every guest here, we're going to talk about some of those topics that other people don't want to talk about, but we're going to talk about it, whether it be about motherhood, black men, whether it be about joining the force and being a mental health advocate. Either way, we're going to talk about it. So with that being said, thank you for coming. And if you're here, it's because God needed you here. I hope you enjoy this episode, and I will see you soon. Bye. And soon we are here. Hello, everyone. Sorry, excuse me. Welcome to the podcast, the Inimitable Black Excellence Panel Discussion Part 2. If you know French, I don't know French. Ignore me. Anyway, so I have these lovely panelists with me. All three of them, love them. They are amazing people. I hope you guys were watching and reading all the flyers, because they don't just do one thing. They do multiple things. And I'm so excited to have them here. So I'm going to introduce every single one of them. And then I'm going to, start with the questions. So first up, when I touched down in New Hampshire, she was one of the first people that I connected with and connected heavily with. You know what I mean? I used to be over her house playing with the dog and the children all the time. She is a professor at a local college out here, and she also has her own consulting business. She's great with marketing. Ladies and gentlemen, meet Dr. Carrie.
Hello.
Did I miss anything? Did I get all the things? Soccer mom, basketball mom.
We have time.
She is amazing at everything that she does. Next up, I have so we met through a mutual friend, and we've done a few of these podcast episodes, whether it's on my own Inimitable or whatever I was doing, or a conjoint one. Chris is I think he drives a bus for the MBTA, if I'm not mistaken. But then also, he is an amazing mental health advocate for the Black men in Boston. He does come from, Texas. We love the cowgirls. They're all right. They're great.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I said they're all right. I at least gave them some. Dak Prescott was on my fantasy league. He got us some points until he got injured. So anyway,
now I'm about to say, now if I start throwing jabs at the pass now, we're gonna turn this whole podcast upside down.
Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you life coach Chris. How you doing, sir?
Good evening, everyone. How you doing?
I told them, I was like, I might say some random things, but y'all know it's me. Anyway, and then last but definitely not least, I've known Kim what I feel like since I was a wee little tot. She is an elder, a preacher, a teacher, an architect. She can sketch the mess out of any skyline she's looking at in Boston. She also has written, was it 2 books at this point? And she has one book, Kimformations. Okay. Kimformations, which is an affirmations book. And we love that. And then she also has her own podcast, which I was honored to have a guest appearance on. Is it Kim? Was it Kim? Kimpowerment. She's a whiz with the words, y'all. Anyway, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Madame Kimberly Oliver.
Good evening, everybody. I'm excited to be here. Can't wait to get into it.
Yeah. So speaking of, I too am a teacher, although we have teachers who do it better than me on this here pod. I like to start with definitions and what Black excellence means to all of us, because we all exude it and embody it in very different ways. So I want to pose that to the panel of what does Black excellence mean to you, and how do you embody such Black excellence?
I was like, who's gonna go?
I'm always like ladies first, but yeah.
Oh, that's nice. I like that. Black excellence. I'll go first. So I was talking to one of my friends the other day, and I was telling her, how a lot of things going on with your life, with my life, ups, downs. There's just so much going on. And I said, I'm not sure that I'm ready or I'm able to talk about Black excellence this week, today, because how I'm feeling. And her advice was said, well, you be real. And if it's, hey, today I'm down, but tomorrow I'll be up. And she just reminded me some of the things that I try to do with others that look like us. As a professor, I really try to bring up our people and try to make them understand that, we've overcome a lot of obstacles. So have I. I'm a real person. You can too. And I think that's how I try to empower and inspire others to say, today kind of sucked. But hey, tomorrow I'm just going to get back up and do what I need to do and hopefully bring that type of excellence into my world, my area, my presence, my friends, whatever it is. So yeah, I was like, I don't know if I could talk about it, but I was like, I can.
I love that, because that is what Black excellence is. It's like realizing we may not always be excellent. We may not always have the motivation and the energy and the wherewithal to go about our days, but we go through them. We embody excellence by not just always being up here. It's when you go through the ebbs and flows of life and you're just like, you know what? I still show up. I'm doing a thing. May not be my best every time, but I'm doing a thing. And here I am. So yeah. I love that. That is excellent. And I love your honesty, Carrie. So thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you, Dr. Carrie. I love what she said, that she was so honest in saying that she didn't necessarily feel the excellence this week. I echo that as well, because I did not feel the excellence yesterday because I was being condescended in the workplace. I know this is a safe space, and so I know you all understand how that feels. And just thinking about all week about, doing this tonight and thinking about the word excellence. Mm-hmm. And I take it to be that you have to be excellent all the time. And I'm not saying that you have to live up to a standard that you can't commit to, but we still have to be excellent in everything that we do, no matter what going on. When I say excellent, I had to remain excellent in my attitude and in my reaction to the situation. I was able to be calm. I didn't get loud. I didn't give the person what they wanted because the person wanted a fight. And I had to remember, I'm Black and I'm excellent. And excellent people do not do that. They don't behave that way. So I had to keep reminding myself. So I think for me, excellence means that you have to constantly think about the fact that you have to be excellent. You have to exude that no matter what.
Again, I'm loving the honesty, because this is absolutely what is needed to talk about. And a lot of people aren't talking about it, right? Last week, we did touch upon workplace and what it means to be melanated and occupying white spaces, and how often they're ready to show up with all of their words, all the things. And we're just like, because if I were to say something, I would be labeled with 17 different things, but little Miss Becky over there can say what she wants, however she wants. It's like, oh, maybe she's having a bad day. And it's like, all right. So thank you for being honest. And you're right. Excellency is not mean I'm excellent every day, because that's just not humanly possible. But we embody it again by going through the ebbs and flows. And even when we're at our lowest, I heard someone say to me, I think it was one of my clients, they was like, even when we're operating at 50%, that is still 100% of our white counterparts. And I said, ooh, that was good. Because, we are quite creative, and we are often attacked for God knows what. But, anyway, Christopher.
Well, kudos to the ladies, man. Dr. Carrie, Kimberly, Jermaine. Fantastic stuff that y'all laid down thus far. I like what each of you had to say. Um, I'm glad this is a safe space and we can, be honest and, do our thing. So, sis, I'm like you as well. Like, I toss something random out there. So I got two parts to my Black excellence. And so the first up is, do you guys remember that Alabama boat fight?
Yes.
Yeah. So for me personally, that's Black excellence on full display right there. You got my man that was swimming. He came out the water throwing bowls. You got, Grandpa with the steel chair. He handling business. But listen, don't get too caught up on the violence piece. What I love most about that was that you seen like two or three different generations of us. You got the younger ones, the younger crowd. You got the older crowd. You got those that are in the middle, and everyone had each other's back. You had the younger men taking up for the older men, older women taking up for the younger generation of women. It was beautiful to see. So for me, Black excellence is the way we unify, the way we look out for one another, the way we care for one another, the way we uplift each other, the way we have each other's back day in and day out, even if it's a full blown stranger. I know people get caught up on the negativity, the mean mugging, and oh, this and that, and the ratchetness. That's not our culture at all. Our people, we greet each other with smiles. We show positivity. We uplift each other. So for me personally, yeah, the Alabama boat fight, people saying it's gonna go down in Black history forever. It was dope, but I get it, the punches were swung and whatnot, but it was the unity for me, man. We band together. People they didn't even know each other and looked out for one another because this brother looks like me. This sister, she looks like me. I got her back. And part two with the Black excellence is evolve. When I think about Black excellence, it's our ability to adapt, grow, and be resourceful. All of that in evolving. What we were 10 years ago, now we're not that now. We're so Black people with us, man, we're so advanced. What did you say, sis? You said um our 50% is better than white counterparts, 100% or something like that.
Mhm.
Mhm.
That's how dope we are, man. When we evolve, when we grow, like we just phenomenal, man. So just to see my people, the way we eat, with the way we evolve, generation after generation after generation after generation, is not talked about enough. People like to dig up our past and the dirt and the negativity, but that's not our history, man. That's not our culture. It may be, a sliver, a small part of it, but totality overall, that's not us, man. And so this quote, if anything for something to change, or let me quote it right, if nothing changes, nothing changes. And so for us as Black people, I like the way we change, the way we adapt, the way we grow, the way we evolve. So when I think about Black excellence, it's the way we evolve, man.
Mhm. I love that. First of all, y'all are bomb.com because no one gave the same type of response. And even the three from last week, like it all kind of encompasses who we are as a whole. Now, let me put the disclaimer out there. Just because we are pro-Black doesn't mean we're anti anything else. We're just speaking our truth because this is what needs to happen. You know what I mean? We love people. We love all people. You know what I'm saying? We're just talking about, like Chris was saying at the end, like how we evolve as a people. And, the three of us or the three of them were all saying something. And I really wanted to like put a little pin in there so we can further dig into it. I think the part of Black excellence for me is how do we show up in just our regular everyday life, right? Even when it's not our best, we still have to show up, right? And Chris was talking about how generationally we have to show up for each other. Now I'm going to say something controversial, so strap on your boots and put on your seatbelts, because here we go. I think we need to talk about why us lovely melanated individuals seem to only band together when we're the ones being attacked. You know what I mean? Like, I had this training where they were like, when something happens, Black Lives Matter, and then it dies out. Until the next thing happens, it's like, Black Lives Matter. It's like, why can't we maintain this integrity of like, our lives matter? And we should be doing what we can to keep it going and flowing, and not just come together at funerals or whatever. So any comments on that? Because I'm intrigued.
Let's see. I'm not a made up. My first thought is we're so used to doing things on our own and having to be our own advocate, spokesperson, cheerleader. We're used to that. And I think what happens is we kind of go back to that. And then it gets to the point where it's like, whoa, it seems like the world is attacking us. And then we kind of look around and say, hey, you got me. And then we come together. And then we do it like our thing. And then it's like, okay, back to our, trying to live our lives in a world that sees us, as less than. Unfortunately, that's just kind of how it is. So every day we're just trying to fight these stereotypes and all these things that historical things that we don't do or have nothing to do with us at this present time. We're just used to doing things on our own. I think that's what it is for me. I know I tend to do that. It's like, okay, I have issues that I have to deal with that is personal. And, we're not big sharers unless it's, our family. We're not telling everybody what's going on. We kind of keep it home, close to home, and try to deal with it on our own. That's what we do. And I think that's one of the things that happens.
I agree. I love that, because we definitely, I think I touched upon it last week, when it's like this whole survival thing, this survival mode that we as a people have to continuously do. It gets exhausting over time. We don't get to enjoy all of the lovely things. I mean, unless you're saved and we love Jesus, but even then, and still, we still are like consistently having to show up and be mindful of our skin, be mindful of our ethnicity, because race isn't a thing. It's a social construct, just to let y'all know. Anyway, it's like we have to consistently be reminded of that. Like, I have a lot of male, Black male friends, and they're like, I have to be aware of my Blackness every time I walk outside of the door. Like, I'll just be walking down the street and someone might cross over the street because I'm a big Black man. And just by being big and Black, I'm already deemed as a threat. And it's like, some of these big Black men are some of the biggest teddy bears ever. But because on the outside, we have been deemed as violent and aggressive and all these other things, people follow suit. And it's like, we should not have to be aware of our Blackness everywhere we go and have to consistently be in like, keep your hands out your pockets, put a smile on, don't look so threatening, and all these other things. And it's like, why? That's so annoying. But anyway, anyone else have anything to chime in on?
I don't even know where to start with that. Because I just heard so many things in what Dr. Carrie was saying, what Coach Chris said, and what you've been summing up, Jermaine. I think the biggest thing I could say for me is the consistency. So I always have to go back to the consistency of being Black and being excellent, but also, like you said, being mindful of my skin color. And it's hard because, just being out in the world, just, every day, like I ride the commuter rail. So I'm on the train, I'm on the bus, I'm everywhere, right? I'm on the silver line, orange line, green line, whatever, you name it. And I do notice what you were saying about when people see Black men. I see people clutching their pocketbooks, moving to the other side of the train. I'm mindful. I've been taking note of this for like the last 6 months. So on the commuter rail, if you're familiar with the commuter rail, they have the 2-seaters and the 3-seaters. I usually sit in the 2-seater and I'm usually on there first. But I will watch white people walk by, and there's like, my seat might be the only empty seat. They will go and stand. And I'm like, what is it? Like, are you assuming, then I have to wonder, it's like, maybe they just don't want to sit there. But then we always have that second question of maybe they don't want to sit there because I'm Black, which is, we have a second question to ask all the time when we get denied for things, when people don't want to do things with us, when people tell us no. Are you telling me no because what I asked you don't want to do? Are you telling me no because I'm Black? And then I just want to touch on that whole thing, Jermaine, about, we need to smile more, show up with the smile. You should smile. But when our counterparts don't smile, it's, oh, they had a bad day probably. But us, we have an attitude, we're violent, we're aggressive, we're loud, we used a tone, we had an attitude. And I just wish that in 2025, I thought it would be different. I think that's my biggest takeaway is I thought it would be different in 2025. And it seems like we're going backwards.
Yeah, absolutely. And those kind of revelations are not new. I mean, I know I just said they're revelations, which usually means it's new information, but the fact that we are still in 2025 and these are still things we have to worry about. We have to be consciously aware of our Blackness. We have to be consciously aware of our size. Like, I mean, maybe this isn't for everybody, but I'm big. Okay, both this way and that way. And so I understand how I can be viewed as a big threat. And I'm like, y'all, I am so not violent. Like, I love people. I love. Y'all come hug me. You know what I mean? But because of my stature, that's not always received. And being in, the state that I'm in, it's a whole different awareness. You know what I mean? Because coming from Brockton, which is like, if you're not of the minority, you are the minority, right? There is Haitians and Cape Verdeans and Blacks and Hispanics, like we're all in there, right? And so coming from that to coming over here, it's like culture shock times 12. And I said, oh, okay. I always thought like I'm agreeable. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm an Uncle Tom or something, but I'm agreeable. But still, we work way too hard just to be received well, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
You mentioned about always having to smile, and it's so frustrating. Like, why? I have a lot going on, and I could, even a day that I'm thinking about something, and so if I'm thinking about something, I may not be smiling. Mm-hmm. So that doesn't mean anything. And everybody does it. But why is it that I always have to smile? Just so people don't think I'm, something else, or I'm thinking about stealing their purse. Like, it's just not fair.
It is not. Chris, did you have anything to say? I didn't want to.
No, you ladies are getting deep, man, and I love it. So the question that was posed, I mean, I know you said in our the previous question you asked, you like the fact that we didn't agree on everything. This time we're going to agree on this question, everyone. I feel like, it's trauma bonding. At the end of the day, while we get amped up, Black Lives Matter and this and that, and, boycotting and protesting, and then a week later, we kind of just, settle down, I guess. We kind of simmer down after the fact a week later, man. But it's the trauma, that comes behind all of that. We get so used to seeing, our fellow man being beat up and harassed and, injustice here and there. With social media, we see these things all the time flashing across our algorithm. So yeah, so we, like Dr. Carrie said, if I, misquote you, I do apologize. But she said, I mean, we all we got at the end of the day, so we come together for these types of things. And then a week later, yeah, who wants to fight every single day? We're still human at the end of the day. So it's like, yeah, it do get tiring. We do want peace. We're human. Like, we don't want to fight and, go through the struggle every single day. We want the peace. We don't want to fight every single day like that. We just want to live a normal life. So, yeah, just to echo what Dr. Carey said, Kimberly, you too, Jermaine. Yeah, man, it's trauma bonding at the end of the day, coming against injustice, and just we settle down after the fact, because it's like, who wants to do that every day, all day? Who wants to fight every single day and put on a show or put on, push out this extra energy? We can dedicate this extra energy to our family and friends, or, something more productive or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so true. And the trauma bonding is real. I read something that said we carry traumas 7 generations down. 7 generations of trauma. And that's something that we carry, you know what I mean? And that's a heavy thought. And, I don't want it to be so like doom and gloom, but it goes back to what, we said at the beginning. It's like every day we don't feel excellent. Every day we're not like, yeah, let's go. I know I seem that way, y'all. But that's just me. But anyway, and, we don't always have to smile. We don't always have to be like, hi, how you doing? This is great. Some days it's like, I woke up, I showed up. That's all you got. And so, like, when we talk about generations, I think all 4 of us are heavily into empowering and inspiring the next generation. So, given all this information we've been talking about for 25 minutes, how do we shed light and hope into the next generation, our generation, especially given with 47 being who he is? How do we shed light, y'all? Because that's another part of this excellence, is being able to rise above and stay with it and keep riding this thing out. Like, how do we do it? How do we do it?
I think, I'm sorry for jumping in. I think,
no, you're fine,
because I'm really passionate about this, and I'm not saying nobody else is, but I am really, really passionate about pouring into, the generations coming behind us. And I think what I found really, really helpful is to actually listen to them. And what I mean by that is just let them talk about what it is they want to do. And then also, I've been trying this, is ask them what they see in us. So kind of flip it, and get the harsh reality. They may say, well, I see you doing this. I see you moving this way. I see you acting a certain way and conducting yourself a certain way. And they either want to imitate it, want to know about it, want to be like it, or they may say, why do you do things this way? But I think the biggest thing is that we have to kind of flip it and ask them. I used to run a mentoring program back about 7 or 8 years ago, and everybody came to it assuming that the older people were mentoring the younger people. And I was telling the older people, you can actually learn something from the younger people. And I think oftentimes when we think of mentoring, or we're pouring back into the generations behind us, or the younger generations, we immediately think we have to be perfect. We have to show them we can't mess up, and we have to live up to this standard. And they have to see these perfect creatures, these perfect beings, when in all actuality, they're just looking for our support. They're looking for support from us. A lot of them need to heal. And we need to, I think, sometimes be a little bit more vulnerable, a little bit more authentic, a little bit more transparent. And I think that's where the healing is going to start for them. And I think that's something that they will be attracted to a lot more, is if we're more open, we're more authentic, we let them know that we're going to make mistakes too, and that we're there to support them, and that we listen.
Oh, I agree. Because, nothing, if young people don't do nothing else, they will sniff out fakeness right off the cuff. Like, they can smell fakeness coming and like, no, I'm good. Because you're going to give me some fluffy, made up thing that you probably put in chat GBT on how to talk to me. No, I'd rather not. You know what I mean? talk to them. And I love what Kim said, because you honestly do have to model. But there's a quote about mentoring, that mentoring goes both ways. I learn more from young people than probably I do people my own age. You hear me? Because young people bring this whole new perspective in life. And if some of their perspectives kind of off, yeah, but they're also like 15. So it is what it is. But knowing how to not just be like, I'm the expert, listen to me, I got everything, I know. It's like, all right. We don't know everything. Quite frankly, some of us are still doing it wrong. So yeah. Thank you, Kim. Anybody else?
Chris, you gonna say something? Just waiting to know if you're gonna press.
No. You was good, sis. You was good, Dr. Carey. Go ahead and have that. It's just straight.
Okay. So I'm a professor at a college, so I deal with the 20 somethings all the time. I had this one student come up to me the other day, and she says, and by the way, I love this girl. She always comes and she, has her hair done. She's quiet though. And she says, I have a question. And I go, yeah, sure. What's up? She's like, it's hard for me to talk to people. And I was like, okay. And she said, I want to be like you. And I was like, really? She's like, you just sound very confident, and just the way you speak. And I'm like, well, I teach, that's kind of what I do. And she's like, you have any helpful hints or anything like that? And I said, you know what? She was asking me about like podcasts and things like that. I said, let me tell you, I am just me. I am comfortable in my skin. And if you're not comfortable with me, I kind of like, okay, I'm still going to say what I have to say in a professional manner. I like my hair. I like my skin tone. I like certain things about me, and I'm confident in what I'm saying. And so that's what I was telling her. And she's like, yeah, I wish somebody would have told me that growing up. And so then I started talking to her, and it's just her own parents. And it's hard for me to hear because my parents were very, very supportive. And I try, and Jermaine, with my kids, that her parents weren't supportive and never told her those things. So she was always thinking, oh, maybe they're thinking I'm too black because she's dark skinned, my hair, or I'm not saying the right words or whatever. So it's hard for her just to even communicate with some of her friends. And that's coming from home. So what I try to be with my students, I'm there. Well, I'm not going to say I'm like their other mom, but kind of, because sometimes they tell me, that look you just gave me is just like my mama. And I'm like, yeah, probably. But I'm always me. I am authentic. I think I show up for them. I show up to their games. I pay attention to, there's something going on. I always ask, hey, how's it going? Everything good? How was your weekend? What's going on? And, it goes a long way that an adult actually cares, especially a professor, because, professors go in, teach, do what they need to do. And as long as you get a good grade, then maybe I'll pay attention to you. But I'm always trying to see what's going on, what's behind the scenes. What are you doing? Who are your friends? Let's talk. And they come in and they talk to me. They'll send me pictures on the weekends. Like, oh, remember I told you I was going to do this. So just kind of showing up for them and being my authentic self, my true self. And like Jermaine said, I'm not saying that I know everything, because I don't. And I'll tell them, yeah, I don't know. Let's look it up together.
Yeah, I love it, because I remember when I first met Carrie, and I was like, I've been iffy about doing my doctorate because she sounds so eloquent, and I'm like, child, I don't sound nothing like that. She was like, no, do it, be you, and it was hard for me, and she was giving me the whole rundown. I said, oh, okay. now I feel like I can do it. And she didn't say much, you know what I mean? But even in those small, yes, you can, and yeah, I struggled, it was motivating, you know what I mean? So truly being your authentic self and showing up, that means something. And we're going to talk about representation after this, because I want to give space to Chris for Chris to answer. But it's so true. Y'all just showing up and listening, it goes a long way. People are like, Jermaine, how are you so effective with these teenagers? Because I could never. It's like you listen to them and you treat them like people.
People. Yes.
Like I don't know. I don't have the magic sauce. I don't know. I just sit there and I remember me as a teenager. I said, nah, yeah, I was kind of crazy and hella emotional. So yeah, okay, I get it. You know, let me sit with y'all and experience life through their eyes. And it goes a long way, y'all. I think his Facebook name is Trini Hogg. But Dwayne, what he was saying is like we have to listen, but actively listen. You know, show up, think, listen, maybe not even talk, just let them have a space because that's what they need. Safe space. Go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
No, you're good. No need to apologize. First, I want to say shout out and props to everyone that's in the comment section. Like real talk, they going in, showing love, showing support. Shout out to the people that are sharing, just digging up this podcast right now, man. We appreciate y'all. Real talk. Dr. Carrie, heavy on the authenticity, heavy on the confidence, heavy on the being comfortable with being yourself, that type of stuff. I would say the exact same thing. If I had to add anything, because you said kids with their families and their friends, stuff that takes place in their own household, it causes them issues and causes them trouble and causes them to get into a place of, they don't see their real self, they don't see their potential, they don't see how great they are. I would tell a kid, get inside of a healthy community, man. Get around people that's going to big you up, lead you the correct way, talk to you correctly, show you love, show you support. That type of stuff goes a long way. And get before God and get before the community and see exactly what your gift and what your talent is. That right there, what your purpose is. When a person finds their purpose, when they, discover their gifts and their talents, that right there can take them far. That builds up confidence. That right there shows them like, yo, this is your piece of the pie in this gigantic universe. This is your place in the world. Like this is what you do well. Operate in it, man. So I would tell a youth, if any advice I had to give, I would give that to you. That right there, man. Like Dr. Carey say, be authentic and get before a community, man, that's going to support you and get before God and get before people and say exactly what your gifts and what your talents is, man. It'll take you far.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that coming from Chris because obviously, there's a lot of like Black women and women empowerment, female empowerment, all of those things. And it's like, same for Black men. I think, the hard part about the plight of the Black man is that they're often attacked probably more often than anybody, but they're some of the strongest people ever. You know what I mean? And it's like having community, because I had a conversation with one of the young people that I used to work with, and he was in the street life, and I'll never forget the conversation. He said, the streets promised me something no one else could, and they actually fulfilled it. Now, was that a little distorted? Sure. But it's so true. Like the streets, and when they pull our young people or pull whoever, it's because they don't have that familial, supportive, I got you, I'm going to hold you down type thing. So when the streets promise them that, they're like, oh yeah, all right, I can do that. Like, sure, I might have to do some illegal things, but if you're showing me brotherhood, let's go for it. Which brings me to my next point about representation and how it matters so much. And so this is kind of like a twofold question, like who were your people that showed up for you and you're like, ooh, you inspired me to be about something different, or you helped me find my purpose, or whatever it is. And then also being a teacher or a coach or whatever, whatever you guys do. And all the amazing things that you do. Like, how do you show them and show up to be like, yeah, I'm here. Yes, you can be a doctor. Yes, you can be a coach. Yes, you can have your own podcast and write some books and all these other things. Like, yes, you too can do this. So 2 parts.
I'll go ahead and have at it. Um, well, this is just me personally. For me, I wouldn't call it a lifestyle. I mean, my apologies. I'm gonna call it a industry. What I do, I would call it a lifestyle. As far as what I do, being a coach, being just a dope brother in the community, being someone who holds safe spaces for people, therapeutic spaces for people. Man, it's just a lifestyle. I want to see my brothers, be well, be whole, be healthy. I want to see my brothers operate in, positive influence and not negative influence. That the street part that you were speaking about, that's all influence. When we see that, it's like, oh, these people showing me love, they showing me that they care. I get it, but at the same time, it leads down a road of negativity, man. Nothing positive at the end. Now we can flip that influence and operate in a place of positive, operate in a place of love, genuine love. Yeah, we can do great things, man. So for me, it's not an industry on my end, it's just a lifestyle. And I want to show my brothers, young, seasoned, like, yo, we can do this thing, man. We can heal. We can, there's no shame in going to therapy. There's no shame in venting. There's no shame in, opening up and talking to another brother. There's no shame in telling another black man, like, hey, bro, I love you. That doesn't make you, soft or whatever, man. So for me, man, it's a lifestyle of just breaking, bad habits, a lifestyle of breaking chains, man, a lifestyle of just, uplifting my community, man, at the end of the day. Um, so, I mean, I do what I do because it's like I love my people and I love myself. And I just want us to thrive all together as a collective unit, man. The more, the merrier, real talk. Um, so, I mean, yeah, brothers can do it. They can be positive. They can be coaches. They can be counselors, therapists. Whatever you want to do, whatever you want to set your mind to, you can do it. I'm someone who moved from Dallas, Texas to the Boston, Massachusetts area. Didn't know what the world had in store for me, man. But I knew it was something greater out there for me. So I took that chance. I took the leap of faith, and got out here and made some moves to see what can I tap into? How can I, become my better self? Dallas, much love for my city, much love for my state, Texas, man. It's beautiful. I still consider it the best place in the world. But I was too comfortable down there, man. And so when I got up at the age of 29, moved to the Boston area, on paper, you would say, a 29-year-old man, like that's a grown man. I didn't grow until I got here, until I got out of my comfortable zone, my zone of comfort. When I got out of that, man, I became a man. I tapped into my gifts, my talents. I tapped into who I was meant to be, man. So that's what I do. I do what I do because of that, man. Lifestyle. I demonstrate a lifestyle to my brothers, my sisters as well, the youth. Like we can do this thing, man. We can be positive. We can. I know the smiling piece is tough, but I like to smile. Not, I mean, I don't smile all day, every day, but I do smile often because it's the Southern hospitality in me. It's the Southern boy in me. But I like to greet my brothers and sisters with a smile, like, yo, good morning. Like, what's good? How you doing? You know what I mean? Um, so yeah, man, it's a lifestyle, not an industry for me, but a lifestyle of change.
I love that. Yes, there ain't nothing to say after that. Y'all go ahead. Lifestyle, like it.
Can you ask the question again? Only because number one, I'm following behind Coach Chris now, and I feel like I don't even want to talk. But I don't want to miss. I know it was 2 parts, and I didn't want to miss the answering not correctly, but I didn't want to miss the 2 parts of the question. So, do you mind asking the question again, Jermaine?
Of course. So the first part was because we're talking about representation, and so it's kind of like who showed up for you. And inspired you to be who you are or to keep going, and then also how do you show that to the next generation? And I know we talked about being our authentic self and all of those other things, but sometimes like when Obama became president, it was like, oh my God, I can be president too, or I can do this too, so in whatever fields that you're working in? How do you inspire people to keep going?
So this is tough for me. I'm sure it was tough for everybody, but I couldn't pick one person. But if I had to, I can narrow it down to two. And it would be my dad. And that's because he has a degree in electrical engineering. And my grandfather, his father, had a degree also. I don't know if he had a degree or if it was a trade, because he would have been 90 something now if he was still alive, but he had his own electric company. And that was huge for a Black man in the 50s and 60s. It was Oliver Electric Company, I believe. My dad used to work along with him. Then my dad ended up getting a degree in electrical engineering. And then since I was in nursery school, I wanted to be an architect. Like I didn't change that. People kept telling me I was too young to know what that meant. And I told them I want to draw buildings. So they said, okay, she knows what she's talking about. I researched it. I was like 6, 7. I would be reading books about buildings and skyscrapers. So knowing that my dad was in that field, and this is no shade to my mom because my mom was a school teacher. And so I got a lot of things from her too. That's why I'm saying I can't really just pick one person. But I would have to lean to my dad and my grandfather because we are the only ones like in my family that are in engineering and like architecture, construction background. So I didn't veer from that. But one thing I would say is to tell people coming behind us, don't be afraid. And when I say that, I'm saying don't be afraid of going into a field because you don't see people that look like you, because you will be the person that you're looking for. So if I was afraid to go into my field, I wouldn't be in the field now. I've been in that field for like 28 years now in the architecture, engineering, construction world, because when I graduated from college, there were 60 people in my class, 3 women, and I was the only Black woman. There were a couple of Black men, but do the math. 1 Black woman, 59 other people of the Caucasian race, and only 3 women. So if I had been afraid of that, I could have said, well, I'm going to go into a field that has more Black women in it, right? And no shade to people that did, but I knew what I wanted to do. And if I had to be the person that was the face of that, then I was not afraid, because you don't want to let what you want to do and what God told you to do and who you are going to be altered or changed just because you don't see it there yet. You can be that person. And it does take a lot of courage. I'm not saying that it was easy. I'm not saying that 3 weeks before I graduated from college, I had this model that I had to make, this architectural model. And I was at my really good friend's house at the time on her back porch in Grove Hall. And I was about to throw the project off the porch because I was so upset. I was so frustrated. I said, I'm not going to graduate. I'm supposed to graduate in 3 weeks. It's not going to happen. This model looks terrible. I can't do this. And she was like, you can do it. You're going to graduate in 3 weeks. You can do it. Just go ahead and do it. And it's like, why would I have thrown away something I wanted to be at that time for probably 19 years because of one little issue? And all I had to do was just like pour back into myself and say, this is my dream. This is what I want to do. I know God is behind me. My family's behind me. And even if your family and friends are not behind you, because I have to tell you, I had many people tell me I was crazy to go into that field. They kept asking me, why in the world do you want to do that? There's no one like you in that field. You're going to be with all white men and you're not going to be able to do it. Well, 28 years from now, I'm still with the all white men and I'm doing fine. Okay. I'm doing fine. Yes, there are not a lot of people like me, but what I am saying is to somebody coming up behind me or behind us, don't be afraid to not go into a field because you assume and you say, well, I don't see anybody like me. You be the person. And then the people coming behind you can say it. But I would say just do not be discouraged or altered from what you want to do because you particularly don't see many people of your race in that field.
Love that. I love that. Do it scared, but still do it because the representation matters. And I love that, we have to occupy these spaces, right? Regardless if we are the first brown face, the first female brown face, occupy the space, because what we do is we become trailblazers, and we pave the way for the futures of whoever's coming from back there. Or maybe we inspire someone who's like, oh, I always wanted to do this, but I'm like in my 50s and I don't know. It's like, hey, listen, there's a lane for all of us, quite frankly, and let's go that way. Carrie, is there anything you wanted to
add? I would have to say it would be my dad. I am the oldest of 5. I didn't have those ahead of me that graduated college. So they went to school, but no bachelor's, doctorate, anything like that. And I honestly didn't think I would ever be a teacher, a professor. I mean, I knew it wasn't going to be little kids, but I just like talking to people. My dad could talk to anybody. I don't care who you are. He owned his own business. I learned to hustle. You belong in every space that you walk into. That was his thing. Like, it doesn't matter. There'd be a room full of dogs and you could walk in and be like, well, today I'm going to be part of this little dog crew because I have a right to be here and I'm just going to be me. My dad is who he is. When you meet him, that's who he is. You'll never guess. So just learning things like that, I think has helped me with my career, because my career is in marketing. So I was in corporate world before. And that's what I do. That is my thing. That's what my business is about as well. And I just happened to get into teaching because it was something that I thought would be good to fall back on one day. And I happen to now do this and I love it. But yeah, the hustle, belonging anywhere. I have an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and a doctorate. I had one Black professor, mind you, not in any of those degrees in my high school. I've never seen a Black professor in any of my classes. And they were all business classes, none, not one. Now, minority, yes, never a Black professor. So why would I even think that that's something that I could do? I had a high school honors English teacher that always told me, I don't know what it is about you, but you're going to do good things. You're going to do great things. And I'm like, okay, I am like 15. Okay, whatever. But yeah, I would say my family is very, very supportive of anything I do. But, I really look to him. He had a job, decided to do his own business. He had kids to raise, a wife. But he went out there, did what he had to do. And that's just kind of how I think. That's what I do what I have to do. I was the only Black professor at our college. Someone just got hired and I saw her and I was like, hi. She's in a whole nother division, but at least we're spread apart, we're not in just one division. But I try to be I don't know, should I say the face or the spokesperson for the Black community, and not just to be a professor, but to be, to do something, to do something that you love. That's what I always tell them. Do something that you love to do, that you like to do, that you're passionate about. If it's teaching, if it's doing hair, if it's doing nails, if you want to be president of a company, whatever it is, try to be passionate about it, or you are going to be miserable, because I've been there, done that. But I just, like I said, just try to be there. And I think he said something, Chris, about, like showing up and, having a smile. And I have to tell you, there's times when I don't, because I know you, I know what you can be, I know what you can accomplish. And I'm going to tell you, no, we're not doing that. We're going to do this. And I have a lot of students that don't lie to me. And unfortunately, I kind of want them to lie to me sometimes, because if they show up to class late, they're like, oh, let me tell you. I'm like, ooh, sometimes I don't even know everything, but they trust me. I'm a safe space, and they know that I'm not going to just let them skate, because I know what you could do. And I'm going to tell you, nope, we're not doing that today. So it's not always like, oh, yeah. Sometimes I got to sit you down and say, this is what we're doing, because I know you could do better. And I believe in you. And I don't care if anybody else does it. We're doing this. So sometimes it's not always a smile.
I think we have understood. Hey, we're amazing even if we're not smiling. I mean, I'm always smiling, but again, Jamae got a few screws that ain't too tight up here. But anyway, I wanted to kind of piggyback off of what everyone was saying. And there's this term that I learned not too long ago called a workpreneur, which means, we have our 9 to 5 or whatever hours you have in the beginning, but then you also have your own business. And Carrie just said that her father, was the epitome of that, right? Like he had to do what he had to do. And then he also had a business, and then he was also a father, and then, paved the way to show like you can do it. I don't know to say if we can do it all. We love that. That's good. But being able to navigate those spaces, it makes us tired. I think all three of us before we hopped on was like, no, yeah, we tired. This is not easy doing all the things that we do. But what is the joys and the pains of being a workpreneur? Because I did way too much. I was working 2 jobs and then trying to do my business as well. And my best friend used to get on me all the time. My mama would get on me all the time, like, girl, you do not have to do all of those things. I said, yes, I do. Because I'm still doing all, like Carrie was just saying, I'm passionate about everything I do. And quite frankly, if I ain't passionate about it, I'm not doing it. Because I got a lot of stuff I can do, but love working with young people, love inspiring young people. I come from a group home background. So yeah, I'm going to do what I was, went into debt for with all these years of school. Definitely going to use my degree, but then I'm also going to love working with young people in whatever space I can find them. And then be obedient to the work of the Lord and try to do this business thing. And so, there's joys and pains with it. But what would you guys say are joys and pains with being a workpreneur?
I'm going to jump in and say the balance. And when I say that, I mean, I'm kind of like you, Jermaine. I'm passionate about everything. So it's hard for me sometimes to prioritize things. And people say, well, you have to prioritize, and there's got to be one thing out of the 10 things that you want to do that's at the top. But I think as I've gotten older, because I used to be that person too, I'd be sun up to sundown. 50 church services, some kind of podcast. I'm coming on live with somebody. I'm coming on live with myself, and all these things, and then work and whatever. But I think what I found is that quality really, really matters to me now more than the quantity. And also too, learning to say no. In this season of my life now, I'm learning to say no to things. I'm learning to disappoint people and be okay with it. And I think you get the more 100% of Kimberly when I'm able to do 2 things and not 12. So I was doing all those 12 other things, but I was probably only giving 25% to each person because I was burnt out. I became burnt out. And I don't know if it was age or I just couldn't keep up anymore. And I didn't use it as, oh, well, I failed now because I can't do 25,000 things. It's more like I want to show up in these spaces and I want to give you all that I have. I want to give you the quality and not the quantity. So I wasn't as concerned anymore about saying to people, oh, I did these 12 things yesterday. I did this. I mentored somebody. I did this. I went on a live. I went on the radio. I did this. I went to work. I did a presentation. I preached. And then I taught a seminar. No, because there's no way that you're doing all of those things and you're doing them excellently. You know, we're talking about Black excellence. Well, how can you be excellent if you're burnt out? How can you be excellent when you're not giving the quality because you're so concerned about the, you know, the quantity of rattling off all these different things that you do? And I think in our culture, I think sometimes we do put a lot of emphasis on how many things we do. And it's because of our culture, again, our history. I think a lot of times we as Black and brown people, we get caught up into things, and it's cars and clothes and sneakers and jewelry and me pocketbooks and shoes. And, you know, I have this and I got this Louis Vuitton bag and I got this and that. And it's because we were deprived for so many years. We couldn't have certain things. So to us, it's like we're constantly trying to prove rather than teach somebody. So if I'm worried about proving to you how many things I can do and how great I am because of all this list that I have, but then my concern is not for that young person or to the people that I am trying to be present for. I can't be present for them because I'm split in like 25 different directions. So I think for me, it's just making sure that it's the quality and not the quantity.
I love that. Quality and bound. Listen here, Kim. I just want to shout out Kim real quick because the way that these boundaries of hers have been on point. I say you better be sassy, ma'am, and stand 10 toes down on them boundaries you got. I'm so proud of you. Just want to say that. But yeah, we absolutely need boundaries because, like, I learned something that people are dedicated to you based off of what you can provide for them. And without boundaries, child, you will stretch yourself thin because like, oh yeah, I got to be here and I got to do this. And, you know, me and Kim operate in the same church type circles. And so, yeah, you know, I was the youth president at local church and then in the council. And then I had my business and then all of this other stuff. And when I said Sissy Pooh, I was driving that church van.
Yeah.
Every event and everything that we were doing. And I would go home. I'm like, yo, I'm tired. Every single weekend. Even now, I'm like, I don't even know why I moved because I'm in Massachusetts more than I am right here. I'm only here to like sleep at this point. I'm always in Massachusetts and, you know, we working on the boundaries. But Kim, I just want to say I'm proud of you. So yes, quality and boundaries is the sum. Go ahead. Anyone else?
I'm gonna go on and wrap. Dr. Carrie, are you on?
No, I was just reading the
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Oh man, Sister Kim, listen, man, I'm about to say we could shut the podcast off right there. That sister, she did it. That was a good word. That was a good word. I was sitting back thinking when you posed the question, Jermaine, I'm like, man, and you know, the pain and the joy, I'm like, the pain, and just this is just me personally. And sis was right about the balance piece. The pain for me, what I experienced was burnout as well. And then when you reach the burnout, your self-care fail. And when self-care starts to fail, then depression starts kicking in, and then, you know, suicidal thoughts and stuff like that. Um, and so I had to go back and find that balance and find that, you know, that self-care and get myself, you know, just energized, you know, for life all over again. Even when you're flowing in, you know, something that you love doing, burnout is still real. Like for all of us, like for the most part, it looks like all of us, we pour into people. And although it's something we enjoy doing, it's not always the easiest thing. You know, when we think about energy that's, you know, that we're carrying, we're pushing that out towards people every single day. And then on top of that, we're doing our 9 to 5s, quote unquote 9 to 5s. And so, yeah, that burnout is real. That's the pain that I encountered when it comes to, what you call it, this workpreneur, something like that. That's what I encountered. Just busy all day long, man. And it's real, waking up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and not going to bed until 12 o'clock at night and then doing it all over again the very next day. It's not a real quality of life. So I was missing family, missing friends, missing, spending time with loved ones, hanging out, that type of stuff. So that was the pain behind it all. But yeah, you do have to find that balance. I agree with you, Kimberly, but also the self care and all of that, which is huge. And the self care that keeps you going. Take a step back, go catch a flight, take a trip somewhere, go to Jamaica, hang around family and friends, man, have some dinner, that type of stuff like that. That gets you back in the mood of, just enjoying life and enjoying purpose all over again. And so the joy is that right there. Me personally, I do enjoy working with my community, man. Um, it's just something special about it. I can come up with words and statements to describe it, but it really is no real word to describe when you see a brother you've been working with for a few months and now he's out of pure hell. Like he's flowing in a place of abundance and prosperity and goodness. It's dope when you see a sister you've been working with. Now she's free and now she's enjoying life. So it's no real word I can put on it. It's just the feel, So it's the joy behind that. That's the joy behind it. The pain is the burnout. But the joy is just, seeing people set free, man. Isaiah 61:1 is my favorite scripture where it says, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me. And the Lord has pretty much equipped me to set the captives free, all of that. So, man, I rock with that all day long. That's my, mission statement, if I could say so. That God's Spirit is on me, man, and I'm built and equipped to, just to set the captives free, man. So that's it. That's the pain and the joy for me.
I love that. Listen, come through Southern Twang. I'm a sucker for some Southern Twang. He said self-curve. I said, yeah, that's good to me. Anyway, no, it's so true because we have to. I was literally talking to my client the other day. I used to work in this agency that worked with little kids. Now I don't like working with little kids. Love them. That's not my ministry though. And so I remember sitting at her school waiting for her to come. And in the hallway, they had bucket fillers and bucket spillers. And I said, well, this is interesting. Let me take a little gander as to what it says. And so bucket fillers are the things like the self-curve, right? Like going on trips, because I plan on going on trips. I got my passport. So I'm trying to be outside. I ain't got the funds yet, but I'm trying to be outside and go on the trips and do all the lovely self-care things. But then we have bucket spillers, which is like being burnt out and then having people that just don't care about your boundaries, always doing things. So like I said, now, how do we translate this to adults? Because, we can still use the same thing. But like the bucket that was spilt over, it had a little sad face on it. And it was like, And I said, now this is profound right here. Bucket fillers and bucket spillers. So yeah, finding the balance, doing the self curve, and finding the ability to like remind ourselves, and maybe that's what it is. Remind yourself, like, yes, I found my why and I'm passionate about it, but I'm no good to other people if I'm not good to myself first. And just because they think it's an emergency and an urgency, that don't mean it's an urgency to me. Like, I'm sorry, like I wish I could, but no. Go ahead, Carrie.
I changed my career, so I'm on my second career. Before it was, when my daughter was younger, I was on the road constantly. So I was doing marketing, sales, and realizing, my joy are my kids. Both of them play a sport. I love watching them play. I want to be present. I want to be there. Now, I am who I am because of the way I grew up. I had, like I said, oldest of 5. I didn't get to do a lot of extracurricular activities. So once I got that car, it was like, now you pick up everybody. Parents worked, they had to do the grind. Hey, that I am who I am because of that. totally fine. But, if they want to try something, I'm like, let's try it. I'll be there. You'll look up in the stands and you will see me. So my, teaching affords me to be able to do that. So my why is my kids. And what makes me happy is seeing them happy, watching them on the court, doing whatever they need to do. I love being around my children. With my career, one thing that helps me, because it can, day to day, you may be passionate about what you're doing, but then a random Tuesday you're like, today I'm tired and I'm just going to come teach this class. Okay. But then I'll get an email from someone. I had this kid send me an email saying, I'm stuck. I have graduated. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what to do. And you are the only one that I felt would actually talk to me, listen to me, and be helpful. Out of 4 years in our college, he reached out to me. I was like, oh, okay, I'll go on Wednesday. And then I'll get a parent like, oh, at graduation, and a student's like, oh, I want you to meet my parents. And they're like, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have made it. It's like, okay, I'll come back. So things like that, just sprinkled in, that I'm actually doing something, keeps me going. Like I said, seeing my kids be in their zone and doing their thing, and it makes me happy. So I just keep doing what I got to do. Mm-hmm. But self-care, that's a hard one for me. Like just to be by myself, to just do something for myself, that is very hard for me to do. And I need to do better on that. I really do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I used to have to kidnap Carrie. Like, Carrie, come on, go do something, please. She went, all right. No, but she is great. Like, she's that mom that'll go there and she's like, yeah. Because I was right there with her. I've been volleyball and basketball games. She's great. So the hope is that we can find the balance, because we love what we do. We always find a why. We're always reminded of our why, but we also have to say, like, all right, let me take a beat. Let me take a little step back and let me get myself together. And then if I got to go back out into the world, go back out into the world. We are not superheroes. There's this mental health person that said, cut the cape or something like that. Meaning, like, take that superhero cape off, because that's not what we're doing here. Like, we are amazing, yes, but we don't have to save the world all the time. So anyway, this has been so fun. I have enjoyed everything that has been said. I am so honored to know all of these amazing people. The three of you guys have dropped some gems. Like I said last week, how I had to go back over and take some notes. I'm coming back on here and I'm going to rewatch it and take some notes. But what I like to do at the end of every episode is kind of have everyone just share some final words of encouragement. Now, this can be about being Black and excellent, or this can just be about being human. And because I think, as excellent as we are, the moral of today was be authentic and be honest and real with yourself, because there's a lot going on. Okay. So, ladies and gent, if there was a final word, like we call in the church, a nice little benediction to everything that was said, what would it be?
I would say, number one, Jermaine, this was just, it was so therapeutic for me. I don't know about anybody else, but I love being on here with you, Dr. Carrie. I feel like I've known you forever. Coach Chris, I feel like I've known you forever. I just feel like we just shared a lot of the same sentiments around, a lot of the subjects tonight. But just for me to end, I would say that I took away a lot from what everybody said. But I think just my journey now in this season is just the consistency. in whatever it is that I'm doing, whatever I put my hands to, whether it's my radio show, whether it's, I do want to write another book, whether it's my job, working for the Port Authority in Massachusetts, whatever it is, my church, my council, just to be consistent and to be known for being that consistent person that shows up authentic, that shows up real. And my final quote, and this is like one of my mantras, is that people need your support way more than they need your superiority. And I know that because it's been done to me. I've reached out to people. I'm just looking for support. I'm just looking for you to acknowledge what I'm going through. And then they come back with well, this is what I would do. And I went through that. You shouldn't even be worried about that. Oh, you're too sensitive. And this whole thing. And it's like, I just wanted your support. I was not looking for your excellent superiority in this situation. So I think I've been trying to lead my life that way. Even when people come to me, I just want to listen now. I just want to support you in whatever it is you're trying to do, but I'm not going to necessarily give you my superiority. And so that's just one thing I would like to let everybody know and see if you could try it. But yeah,
I love it.
Thank you.
I told y'all she's a whiz with them words. That's like one of the mic drop moments. Yes, ma'am. And I love it because, the Bible talks about if you're faithful over the few, he will allow you to rule over many. And consistency, y'all, I underestimated what consistency can do for a person. So thank you, Kim.
Thank you, everybody.
I want to say, Carrie, you might as well go.
I always try to you could go, but I know he's going to wait for us. I would say, you're going to get me all the time. Because one is too hard for me to figure out who I was yesterday because I don't have time for that. So I'm always going to be me. Authentic and, like Kim said, real, that's who I am. I'll, continue to show up. I have to learn, how to say no. My daughter today was just telling me, she's in college, by the way. She says, Mom, you really have to learn how to say no. She said, well, except to me. I'm like, yeah, of course. But I always, one thing that I always tell my kids, my students, other people, do you, boo. Do you. Nobody else. If you like what you're doing, hey, have a smile on your face and just keep walking and do you. So yeah, do you, boo. That's my last words.
Yes, do you, boo, because you were created for a reason and can't nobody be you but you. So, the same way we all have an individualized fingerprint, be that person and stop trying to be a carbon copy of what already exists. That's boring, y'all. Do you and be you, boo. Go ahead, Chris.
Fantastic show. Man, great information that was shared. Beautiful space, Kimberly. Absolutely. Very therapeutic, man. I tell people podcasting and shows and stuff like that, the mic, that's my therapy, man. This is my therapy session, man, to be able to talk and get stuff off my chest and just be able to be amongst, good people in fellowship. So this has been dope. I do pray, everyone that's participated and everyone that's listening, that they took some good from it, man. I feel like they did. Um, my last words would be just, embrace the adversity, the hardship. Um, it'll develop good character. It'll sharpen you. It'll develop good character. Adversity and hardship um, builds character. And operate in faith. Don't run to the fear. Operate in faith, man. Faith over fear. Like you said, sis, man, don't be a carbon copy. You operate in faith, man. You're going to be yourself, man. Adversity and faith, man. Listen, it'll shape and form the best version of you. So that's all I got for the people. Whatever you went through, the hardship that you went through, it was for you, but it was also, so you can have a fantastic story, so you can impact the next man, the next woman, the next child. and help them out. Your adversity built your character. And then when you operate in the faith, man, listen, sky's the limit, man. God, it's the reason why God, put the emphasis on to avoid fear and operate in faith. Because when you're operating in fear, not only does it dim your light, but it also hinders our Creator from fully operating in us and getting the glory, man. And for us to live a beautiful, prosperous life. So adversity, hardship, embrace it. Embrace the faith and not the fear.
Come on, mic drops. Do you boo and all these. Y'all, we love y'all. Y'all are great. Yes. In faith is definitely necessary in a lot of the spaces that we are occupying as people, but especially melanated people. And let me tell y'all a little testimony. Like, Jermaine's doing everything scared right now. Everything I'm doing right now, I'm scared. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Sissy Pooh is trembling in her little britches. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? We're here, and we're gonna trust God, because whatever He has for us or for me, it's gonna happen. And like Chris said, it's not just for me. It's for whoever is in my territory that, I get to bless along the way. So again, you guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you, India. It's scary. Okay, scary. Anyway, thank you guys for being here. Thank you all for joining in. Next week, I'm just going to do a wrap up of the whole Inimitable pod season, because like we said, self-care. Yeah, Jermaine's going to take a break. And then we're going to hop back into this. So again, Carrie, Chris, Kim, thank you so much for being here. You guys don't go nowhere, because there's an outro video. Like I said, every week and after every episode, I'm ready to work. Okay. Counseling, mentoring, consulting. That's what I do. I might be holding a group, cough, cough. In the next 3 weeks, there might be a therapeutic group happening. So y'all stay tuned. Anyway, you guys be black, be excellent. Y'all have a good night. And again, panelists, appreciate y'all. So bye, guys. Hello, everyone. Jermaine here from A Fighting Chance Counseling Services. Thank you so much for watching the Inimitable podcast. I hope you're enjoying all the episodes, or if this is your first time here, welcome, and I hope you enjoyed it. So this is an announcement for what's coming up from A Fighting Chance Counseling Services. For one, we have this mentoring program called Permission to Soar. I am so excited about this one. This is for people ages 15 to 26. This is really about building a blueprint for success. So we have a vision, goals, strategies, or steps, and then we need some skills to get there. So how do we get from here to start living out our dream? And that's what the focus of Permission to Soar mentoring is. It is individualistic, and then there's also groups just for accountability purposes. And then I have Emerging Healers Academy. This is for people in the mental health field, whether you are straight out of college, maybe on your way out of college, or you've been in the field for a while. You just need some mentorship, a safe space to communicate, share things. And yes, I am still counseling individuals, couples, and families. I would rather be doing group things, but I can also do individual if you're in Massachusetts and New Hampshire. And then if I get licensed in other states, you will know as well. So again, thank you for watching. Check out my website. Go to the Facebook page, Instagram page, all the things, right? And yes, subscribe to YouTube. All right, guys, thank you for joining in, and watch for the flyers. All right, bye.